Frank, could you start with an update on LeBron and AD?
Yeah, they're both out.
Was that they were both listed as doubtful, so I'm sure that wasn't a surprise to you. But what was the respective status for each other?
Yeah, it was. We knew they're both most likely out, but wanted to give it overnight to make sure that they either didn't have a change of heart or a dramatic improvement in their injuries, and they did not. So they're out.
After tonight's game, you got the back-to-back at Utah and then home against New Orleans. Are you today targeting one or the other games for both teams?
We'll make that decision on I guess it's Thursday, right? It's a Thursday, Friday back-to-back. Yeah, I mean, we'll see where those guys are at on Thursday and make that call then.
All right, Frank, and then as for Dallas, they're clearly playing something like basketball a bit different from earlier this than what began and further this out. Have you seen that change reflected in their roster?
Yeah, I mean, I think they've seen an improvement with how they've played. They're one of the hottest teams in the league since the trade. Playing extremely good basketball. Dinwiddie's really given him a big lift. Bertans has also in spurts. But I think the Dinwiddie pickup has really given those guys a huge lift with what he brings to the table.
Frank, when you come back here, are you just reminded of that overtime game and Austin getting that shot and just sort of at that time, just what was going on?
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember exactly where we were at as a team during that stretch. It hasn't been a great season, but I know that was a bright spot that night and that shot. I do remember that and what that felt like. So, it's just one of those things. You look back at anytime you play a team. The last two times you played these guys, you played them. Obviously back at home a few weeks ago, and then that game was a big one for us.
Frank, obviously you had Jason on your staff the last few years. What do you think of the job he's done here with the Mavericks?
Yeah, I think he should be the coach of the year. I'm not saying that to get him fired. I know there's always like a jinx with that. I say that out of nothing but love. He has done a phenomenal job here, and I think the way they're defending, the way they're playing team basketball. He's always been as a player and as a coach, as a head coach, really someone that preaches the extra pass, and the way these guys play together is a big part of their success so far this season. And no surprise that he's done a great job.
You're out of the head coaching chair. You spent a couple of years out of it on your staff. How does it help spend some time out of the head coaching chair before you get back?
Yeah, I actually I feel like there's a great deal of benefit, to doing what Jay Kidd did, to doing what I did, the year that I was out, from a standpoint of you get to see how others do it, how others do the job, whether that's working on somebody else's staff or, in my instance, I was able to visit, 5 or 6 different coaches throughout the sabbatical year and just learn, and you pick up every time you spend some time with another coaching staff, you pick up 1 or 2 things or 3 or 4 things. Maybe it's a process of how you're doing a scouting report. Maybe it's a defensive coverage. Maybe it's a terminology or, an offensive, philosophy or something like that. It's an opportunity to learn. And, I think both of us have benefited from both of those 2 situations.
Frank, you guys just had the game. I mentioned the fight yesterday, but what else, I guess, do you kind of take from that game that you sort of
Yeah, we just watched watched what our offense looked like. Obviously our defensive coverages, don't change a whole lot. With Braun out, the matchups do obviously, but what's our offensive identity going to be? And I did look at that game just to, see some things that I liked and didn't like. I thought we really competed. We really shared the basketball in that game. We just didn't, we didn't get enough stops down the stretch. And playing against Harden and Embiid, number 1 offense in the league. So, credit to those guys. But there was some things to learn from that game.
Learning from others. Jason credits you a lot of what's happened here. So when you look at the Mavericks, what do you see him taking from you
Well, I just think I know they're just from talking to Jay Kidd and Greg St. Jean, a lot of the defensive principles and the scheme that we used here is very similar. The scheme that we use with the Lakers is very similar to what they have implemented here. And, obviously they've had a lot of success with it. But they're doing a great job on both sides of the ball, so, it's just one of those things where, we had a great couple of years together. Jake and I really learned from each other. And, I feel like both of us are better off from that time together.
LeBron mentioned the other night that basically other than himself, and they understand the urgency of the spot you guys are in. Can't really understand it at the same level, just where they are. There have been any efforts by coaching staff, or even help facilitate conversations between the veterans and those guys to help them be as prepared as possible.
Yeah, it's really about talking to them as a group. We identified, right before that Pelican games as, these are our playoff games. The playoffs start for other teams, whenever the actual regular season ends, but every game matters for us right now. So, there's a playoff series element to, these final games, and you start talking about what the mindset is. The intensity is just a notch higher. The focus has to be a notch higher. Every possession matters. No techs, no delay of games. You have to get every loose ball. You have to execute every coverage. It's controllable. All those types of things that go into competing in a playoff series. We talk about those things with our guys in the group. And then obviously the assistant coaches when they're doing their individual film work with these guys and pregame. They're talking to those guys as well.
Bill on Zoom.
Hey Frank. You've said on several occasions that you don't feel like this team has let go of the rope, which, when you're talking about a team that has had such high championship aspirations and is now, talking about holding onto a play-in spot is something that maybe you could see happening. I'm wondering what are some examples of things you're seeing either on the court or behind the scenes that have shown you that the desire is still there with this group?
Everything about us has shown me that. Honestly, over the last few weeks, obviously we came out of the All-Star break with some lousy performances, but we have stayed in the fight. We've had two of the last 5 games. We've had 33, 34 assists. We had 19 assists in the first half last game, trying to exhibit that championship level ball movement and extra pass teamwork. And they're playing extremely hard on the defensive side of the ball. It hasn't been enough to get as many wins as we have wanted to. But, our guys have stayed in the fight. And, I expect them to down the stretch, even though we've lost Braun, and that's the latest and maybe biggest blow to our psyche. We got to stay in this fight still and give ourselves a chance. I believe we will, but staying really engaged, care factor very high, competitive spirit very high, and trying to give ourselves a chance, to be that team that catches fire at the right time.
All right, thank you.
Good to see you, BT.